You know, there's nothing we political analysts hate more than an uncontested election, and that's why we're thrilled to see that there will be a Boston mayoral race this year, and we're delighted to welcome here to WBZ, newly announced Boston mayoral candidate Josh Kraft, a graduate of Williams College with a master's degree from the Harvard Graduate School of Education. He's the head of the Kraft Family Philanthropies, chairman of the board of the National Urban League's Eastern Mass chapter, and for many years before that, he was CEO of the Boys and Girls Club's Boston chapter. Josh, welcome.
Thank you, John. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming over. Good luck to you. You said in your announcement speech the other day that the, quote, heart of the problem is that, quoting again, we have a leader that just does not listen. Before, we're going to talk about Michelle Wu's record, but first, give me your best example of how you're a better listener and how that yielded positive results.
All right, Joe. So I've spent my life, 35 years, professional life, working in the neighborhoods in and around Boston. And the thing I've learned the most, one of the greatest keys to whatever success I had, is listening and learning from everybody. And not just listening, but truly hearing them. And I've used that to develop programming when I was running a smaller Boys and Girls Club to the entire organization, to also managing people and understanding, what's stressing them, where they need help. So I may have ideas, but I got to listen and hear the folks that are directly impacted by whatever we're talking about.
Can you give me an example of you having an idea about how to do something, but then you listened to people and threw that out?
I have it better. I have an example of something where I didn't listen and it failed. And I'm happy to share that.
Yeah, please do.
When I was running Boys and Girls Clubs of Boston, I was very excited to partner with a charter school in the city of Boston because we had crossover board members and donors. To me, it was easy. And the operations folks on the ground, not the direct service, but sort of in between, who were working with the community and me, were like, I'm not so sure about this, Josh. It just doesn't seem like the cultures match. I'm like, don't worry, we'll make it match. We'll make it match. Trust me, trust me. And I was 100% wrong. We could to close our program in a year. It upset parents. It upset kids. And I learned, wow, I should have listened to the person who was running point on it, and I didn't. And it was a great learning experience for me.
Are you opposed to charter schools?
No, it has nothing to do with charter schools. Okay. It was more how the kids would transition into our program from the school. Is legit boring stuff, but no, I'm not opposed to anything that educates kids.
What's wrong with the Boston schools?
Well, I think there's a few things. I know I mentioned in my remarks yesterday, the announcement speech, talk about a system where, with the best intentions, but getting kids to school, we can't get kids to school on time. And if I'm a parent and I know a school system can't get my kids to school on time, there's going to be a part consistently, once in a while, I get it. But consistently, you're going to start to think, if they can't get my kid to school on time, that's concerning to me. Like, what else am I not seeing in the school building? And this is, I know there's well-intentioned people there, but we got to get it right. And go ahead.
Well, just briefly, because we got to take our break here, do you have an alternate plan to fix that problem?
One of the plans that I've talked about and we've talked about as a team is maybe hiring a second superintendent. So you have a superintendent of academics. I know Mary Skipper is a nationally respected academic and understands it as well as anyone, but maybe we get a second superintendent that focuses on operations, buses, etc.
Wow, you think that's really necessary, huh?
I think so. It's it's 40% of a $4.2 billion budget. It's a lot of money, and if you have one person, I think if you have the right people, logistics are essential.
All right,
you worry about the little things, the big things take care of themselves.
All right, on that note, let's take our break and we'll continue our conversation with Boston mayoral challenger Josh Kraft in just a moment. Welcome back to our conversation with Boston mayoral candidate Josh Kraft. And Josh, one of the biggest reactions you got from the crowd at your announcement last week was when you mentioned your proposal to put a halt on the installation of bike lanes across the city. I don't think I've ever seen people in the neighborhoods more angry than they have become about Mayor Wu's pursuit of bike lanes. What's your complaint about this? Are you anti-bike lane? What is the problem?
And John, I'd set a pause on bike lane, all new bike lane construction. I am for bike lanes. I just think the proliferation and the haphazard way it's laid out is not benefiting the everyday people in our city, families, seniors, our disabled communities, and small businesses who are getting hurt by it as well. I'm for the bike lanes, but we need a thought process and a well-thought-out plan on how to install them across the city. It's not something you can just do. And on top of that, a lot of the folks I've spoken to who have had those complaints feel like they haven't been listened to by the administration.
So they've voiced their concerns about a bike lane plan and then get blown off?
Or there's just no communication. They just come up and there's a bike, wake up, I guess, and there's a bike lane. That's what I've heard.
Well, when Michelle Wu was elected 4 years ago, she very specifically ran on a platform of action.
Yeah.
She used to say, she's fond of saying, we've got to stop kicking the can down the road. And the bike lane program was not created by her. This was a leftover from the Menino and Walsh administrations. What about her broader point that, you know, we can't just put on the brakes on what we believe to be positive changes in the city because some of the neighbors don't like it?
I understand that point, but there seems, with the bike lanes, there just doesn't seem to be a thought process to it, a strategy to it. And this is from people who understand these things better than myself. Someone I know that has been in the construction business, who's a proponent of bike lanes, likes the bike lanes, has said, look, you can't just put them down over an 18-month period. There needs to be a 2 to 3 year thought-out plan. Look at the roads, look at the systems, how pedestrians, how cars, how buses move, and then place them down. So it seems to me like rushing to put them down has caused more of congestion and lack of ability to move around the city.
Do you think this is a function of arrogance in City Hall?
No, I think it's a top-down approach that needs to change and needs to take into account what's going on in the day-to-day lives of people in the cities and how they're in the city and how they're impacted.
Well, this is all sort of dancing around the core question in any election involving an incumbent. To me, that core question is, should that incumbent be fired? Why should Michelle Wu be fired?
Well, as I said in my remarks yesterday, I love the city of Boston. And I just feel like it's headed in the wrong direction. And I've spent a lot of time speaking to people in the neighborhoods, in the communities, and they're really hurting financially. And the number one impact on their pocketbook is the cost of housing, which is something that I know this administration had talked about addressing. And currently, we have one of the highest rents in the country to rent an apartment. Houses cost, the median price of a house is almost $900,000, and people are feeling that.
Yeah.
And it's impacting their daily lives.
I guess what I want to get at before we wrap it up here is, what's the core problem? You obviously argue that she's failed to deliver on these and other issues. Why, and what is it you're offering that's going to perform better?
I would say, John, what we're going to offer, what I'm going to offer is, we're not going to focus on ideology. We're going to focus on getting results for the people of Boston. We're going to share a vision, and part of that vision is going to be the impact and the results that's going to come from it. And that's the message we want to get out, and that's what people are are hurting for. They want to hear about results. They want They want to see results and they want to feel impact. And I don't think they have.
You got your work cut out for you.
Big time.
Good luck. Come back again. We'll look forward to talking with you, and we'll look forward to hosting a debate between yourself and the mayor if you're up for that.
Of course. Sounds great.
Thanks very much for being here.
Thank you, John.
Nice meeting you. And thank you very much for joining us right now.